everyone, I'm Peggy Rometo, and this is the Weekly Wake Up. Okay, so hopefully you've had a wonderful weekend, and for those of you that have celebrated Passover and Easter, I hope you enjoyed them. And we have a new week in front of us. So what we're going to be doing is connecting to the energy, noticing if we can get to that place of neutrality. A lot of times just by becoming curious, it opens up that space for us as well. So I hope you've been playing along, just going in, closing our eyes, relaxing, taking 3 long breaths in and 3 long breaths out, and to let go. And of course, you guys know this is the simplest thing, right? Like it's the simplest thing to stop and to pay attention. And it can get a lot more complex when we're, when it's a difficult subject or a difficult conversation. And because of that, I've got, a new program that I'll be sharing with you in the weeks ahead that will support you in being able to dig a little bit deeper and find those little nuances about when it's you, when it's not you, all those things that we really need to know if we want to have more accurate readings for ourselves and answers. So let's go ahead and just start. And this is, of course, the best place to do it is just to start with just every day, a daily practice of breathing, letting go, checking in and seeing what comes up. And then it just makes us more sensitive as the day goes on and through the week to be able to notice those little nuances with other people or with ourselves, or like, wait, there's something more here, or I need to dig a little deeper. It's just getting ourselves to pay attention to those messages, because the universe is always talking. It's always providing us information. It's just, are we always listening? Okay, so let's go ahead and stop, slow down, take a few deep breaths, and then open to see what's possible for us this week. So one of the very first things that's coming in is the energy tomorrow can be it's like a kind of a slippery energy. Something can come in and catch you right off guard, and literally physically too. So just want to make sure that it's interesting. Just want to make sure that you're paying attention to your environment. This is a day you don't want to text and drive. You don't want to be looking at your phone, when you're getting on an escalator, right? It's like really pay attention this week to your surroundings, especially Monday, especially tomorrow. It feels like an accident-prone day, okay? I don't usually kind of like, talk about those things. So clearly there's something to it, because I'm not usually wired to look out for those things. So there's definitely some mayhem that can happen tomorrow. And all you can do to avoid it is just pay attention. That's all. Just pay attention. Not here to put any fear into anybody or anything like that. It's just having an awareness. It's like, oh, it's gonna snow. We have a blizzard. So you put on a heavy coat, or you don't drive, you don't go outside, right? Or you take precautions. It's like one of those days. It's a windy day. You can get knocked over. So just pay attention. Take precautions. That's all that's needed. Okay. So that feels like kind of the message for Monday. It can also feel like being caught off guard. So being caught off guard can also be emotionally being caught off guard. Having somebody say something to you that you weren't expecting, or a response that you had no idea was coming. So there's this little bit of like, what? Where is that coming from? Or why are they saying that? What's going on there? So there's this energy that can catch you off guard emotionally and physically. And all there is to do with that is just have the awareness, be grounded. To be grounded, it just means we're stopping, we're slowing down, we're not overreacting, we're taking a few deep breaths where, before, kind of like think before you act, right? Or calm yourself down before you respond. If you're in a heated situation, walk away. Ground yourself. It's one of those things that can get out of control quickly, so you can end up saying things you don't want to say, or it takes down the path that you don't want to, or you end up quitting and you don't really want to quit, or you really can't afford to quit. So it's one of those energies that can escalate. So you just want to be aware that by slowing down, walking away, breathing, that you'll be able to correct yourself. And then when you correct yourself, it doesn't mean that the other person's going to change their mind or change their opinion, but it will give you a better ability or capacity to be able to deal with the situation. Okay, this whole week can have elements of that little bit of live wire or frenetic energy where people are just like being weird or acting out or being off. Some of us can be able to, are able to use this to our advantage by just stepping back, watching a situation. It gives us information about how people act under duress or just another side of them, a side of their nature we've never seen before. And conversely, it can be us. We can be the ones who are showing our ass, right? We can be the ones who are putting our foot in our mouth. So you just want to be aware that, this is what's possible this week. So, knowing to slow down, knowing to think before you act, these are the things that are going to keep you out of hot water and keep you on the right side of the equation, right? Okay, so let's see what else is there for us this week. So there's also an opportunity to take action, committed action, and get things done that you want to get done. So it's really about being as clear as you can be in your communication and in your conversation. Remember, we still have this little kind of like, layer of Mercury's energy around us that's not moving forward yet, right? So which means we still have that little bit of confusion with the energy, with technology, with conversations, with signing contracts and deals, where we're not seeing everything. So if you have to have, when you're doing business, you want to double and triple check your emails and making sure your attachments are there and that everything's correct. And because there's just some screwy stuff that happens in the universe right now. And if you can avoid it, you really don't want to buy anything really expensive right now. Just, stick to the necessities. If you do have to close on a house or something like that, just make sure you have your inspections done and all those ducks in a row to make sure that, what you're doing is in alignment and that everything is as they say it is. Okay, so let's see what else is in store for us. We all have dreams and aspirations, and we should if we don't, right? Because that's part of co-creating our life. And they're just showing me this energy in front of us that, if you're chasing a dream, if you're chasing something that you want, this week you just want to be mindful of what's in front of you. What's it going to take? Like, it reminds me of like a hot air balloon that your child has, and they let go of it, and you go try and chase it, but it's going across the street and you're not looking for traffic, right? You're just, your eyes on the balloon and you're running and boom, somebody runs you over, right? So it's that idea of paying attention at the dream that you're running. What are the risks involved for chasing that? What is the risk involved in going there? What is the risk involved of buying that, right? Right. So you're being asked to look at risk versus reward and who's it going to influence. So when you're making a decision this week to, I'm just going to stop and, go with the girls tonight. My husband will be fine. Or I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask my next door neighbor to pick up my kids. It'll be fine because I need to go do this other thing, right? So it's kind of like a haphazard decision or things that maybe at another time and place would be fine, but for whatever reason this week can create chaos or can create extra energy around it. So we can't be careless with the things that we're asking other people to do, and we can't be careless with our own choices. So this week it's just being aware that, if there's something that you want to do, just double and triple check the things around it. Is it safe? Is it okay? Is there going to be undue upset here? Because the communication is off or raw. So it's like where you can have a miscommunication and then nobody picks up the kids, right? You didn't, your spouse didn't, there they sit. You each thought the other one was going to. It's stuff like that. It's kind of like screwy mishap things that can happen to us this week. And it won't if you don't assume anything, right? If you just over communicate, that's what it is. Just over communicate this week and you'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, the other thing is we still want to take time for ourselves this week, and by taking time for ourselves, and it refuels us, and it also sort of gives people permission around us to take care of themselves too. Well, they're stopping and they're taking time for themselves. Maybe I should do that as well. And the other thing is the same with those of you that are really overly concerned about something that's going on with your partner or your best friend or a parent or a loved one, and you're right there and you can see their problem and you're like, oh, if they would only stop drinking, or oh, if they would just get out and look for a job, or oh, if they only, would do this, then life would be better for them. If you can kind of pull that energy back, because what it does is when we look at somebody and we see their problems and we relate to them like they're their problem, or they would be so much better without that problem. How can I help them with that problem? That person, your intention is to support them, but for that other person, it can sometimes feel like they're stuck in a box, that something's wrong with them, that they're always the one who needs help, and it starts to make them feel down on themselves, right? And then they don't want to, they want to do it themselves, or there can be all sorts of things. So unless they're actively saying, I need your help, let's create this plan together, you want to kind of unplug this week from needing to tell other people what they need or how they should be doing things, and try and step back and just see them as perfect and start to relate to them as their potential, like, wow, they're going to be fine, and just start to see them where they are as being whole and being perfect. And in doing so, it gives them permission also to take care of themselves. Now, all this conversation goes out the window if you've got somebody who's in crisis, right? If you've got somebody who's on a suicide watch, right? Like, certainly that's when somebody needs help, and they're not in their right mind, so you have to help them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our general day-to-day living, where we want something more for somebody else, right? It's our wanting to want that person to have a better life, and it's our desire to have them have a better life. Well, that our desire for somebody else can get in their way, and when we're standing in front of somebody and saying, I want this for you, I want that for you, do you know that they have to literally go around you because you're on their path? Right? So it's about stepping back and saying, I'm here to support you. I can't wait to see what you do. I'm so excited for you. I know it must be so hard, but I know you can do it, right? Like coming from a different angle and lending them support, not telling them what to do, but lending support in being able to see you've got all the tools, you can handle it, and what you don't have, I'm sure you'll figure it out. And if you need my help, let me know specifically what you need from me, right? Like let go of trying to create other people's lives for them and allow them to self-generate. You're going to be better and they're going to be better, right? And you'll see, it'll be such a shift. And this week, it's really important that you do that, because if you don't, there's likely to be a blow up. There could be they could just shut down, and because people handle stress different ways, and this energy is kind of intense. So with communications, and it's misunderstanding. So this is why we don't really want to inject our opinion or our ideas into somebody else's life unless it's being asked for, right? Unless they say specifically, I need help with this. And you'll be surprised when you step back and let go of somebody else's life and their problems. They have all the freedom now to come and ask you for your help. They have all the freedom to say, wow, will you help me out with this? I've been thinking, especially parent and child, it's big. So just pay attention to that. You want to just know when you're pushing and when you just need to trust that they'll figure it out. Like step back and like you're watching a little baby starting to crawl to walk, right? We step back, but we know they're going to get there. We know they're going to walk, right? We don't have any doubt. We just wonder if they're going to fall and hurt themselves, but they'll get back up, right? So it's the same with our friends and our loved ones and our family, right? Unless, of course, like I said, they're in crisis, then that's different. But I'm just talking about day-to-day living. Okay, guys, let's see if there's anything else here that we need to be aware of for this week. Yeah, so now what are you going to do with all that time you have, right? Because we're usually busy with other people's lives. So now we can co-create our own life. We can take all that energy that we're using to help somebody else co-create their situation or co-create their life or elevate them or lift them up. What can we do for ourselves? We pull that energy back and look at our own self. What do I need? Where am I not perfect? What is the one thing that I've been trying to tackle that I haven't been able to do? And then start to ask yourself a different question about it, right? Start to use a prayer, bring to me the right resources, bring to me the right people, places, and situations that are going to allow me to excel. Bring in the perfect employer for me, or bring in the perfect partnership, or bring in the perfect money person, or bring that next sale to me effortlessly and today, so that I can make things happen for myself and my family, right? Whatever those mantras, whatever those heart prayers are, start to use them in a co-creative way, so that you can expand and be seen in the world in a way that really inspires other people. All right, you guys, thank you so much for connecting with me, and I love it when you share your comments below or you share the weekly wake up with your friends, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. So have a terrific week, be safe, have fun, stay on your feet, remain lighthearted, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week.